Hey friends, my name is Jackson and welcome back to my channel. We're gonna do part two. So, um, it's like less than an hour till midnight right now, so we're just gonna read some stuff and ring and then review it together. And, maybe Kelly will drop by. I don't know. Guess we'll find out. Hang on. Oh, Kelly's here. Yay! Hi, Kelly. Alright, I'm gonna do some stuff. Alright, I think I'm just gonna do some reading. So, we were reading Insane Parents before. Hello. Okay. We were reading Insane Parents before. Um, Actually, I might read something else, like creepypastas or something. Um, okay. Happy almost New Year to you too. I can't believe it's gonna be 2023 in less than an hour. This is so weird. I'm hoping 2023 will be the year that all the COVID restrictions will like completely disappear or become significantly less. Now it says there are two people watching. Maybe that's just me though. I don't know. Just unsubbed from no sleep. I slept. Oh. Okay. Communities. We're gonna read some no sleep stories. Cause, we're not sleeping right now. Okay. Hmm. Okay, I have no idea what's going. I don't know what to. It says not safe for work though. Should I? Okay, whatever. We're gonna read it anyway. I was a successful porch pirate. After last week's haul, I'm done. I had a perfect record, 8 straight days of stealing packages without a hitch. The houses on Milton Street always delivered around Christmas time. From electronics to kitchen utensils to bedding, every score made me hungrier for more. And when Christmas Eve arrived last week, I knew I would walk away with my biggest haul yet. A flood of packages always arrives the day before Christmas. One of the boxes I scooped up had a package of gingerbread man cookies, and they were tasty. a delicious treat to reward me for my efforts. Before I could gulp down some milk, I realized I had consumed almost a dozen cookies. They were rich with flavor, but a stomachache ballooned inside me. I felt lousy and bloated. My left eye swelled shut. Fingers fell asleep. Tongue tingled. I leaned my head over the toilet and tried to vomit it up, but nothing surfaced. Whatever ingredients were in those cookies had really done a number to me. When I looked at myself in the bathroom mirror, I panicked. Face droopy, my skin looked like it was reconfiguring itself. While I had been pale most of my life, my skin was now turning browner. I limped to my car and drove back to the house where I grabbed the box of cookies. The driveway was empty, so I broke into the house through a backyard window. The horrors that awaited me will forever be etched into my mind. The walls and floor were coated with frosting. Rows of bloody human heads lined the walls, resembling gumdrops. Legs and arms painted like candy canes stood upright, wedged into the ground. The room was full of limbs. As I turned around to leave, a man stepped forward from the hallway. "Another cook to add to the display. You are right on time," he said. I climbed out of the window without even looking back at him, drove home, and plopped down on the couch. Since that day, my body has deteriorated to the point that I can barely share this story with you. I feel like a giant blob of dough. An odor of cinnamon and nutmeg permeates throughout the house. My stomach is covered with itchy, blotchy sprinkles of red bumps. I've been scratching myself to relieve the pain, but all it has done is strip away my flesh. I'm covered with holes and wounds. I don't know how much longer I will be alive. I've had time to reflect back on my actions over the years, and now I feel a deep sense of regret. I shouldn't have stolen from others, but it's too late for apologies. I'm paying for my actions now. There is no turning back. When I look at myself in the mirror, my reflection smiles back against my will. That damn smile on my face, it's not real. My lips have morphed into frosting. I am slowly turning into a gingerbread man cookie. Maybe someone should just eat me to put me out of my misery. Maybe I should just eat myself. By the way, all of these are, um, all of these are supposed to be read as if they're real, even though most of them aren't. I'm excited for a new year. I'm tired of this one. Eh, yeah, sorta, I guess. I don't know. There were some things I liked about it, like moving out. I'm glad I got to move out and now I'm living by myself. Hmm. 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 Did my cooking skills turn my friends into psychotic monsters, or did a well-known online meal kit service do this on purpose? First of all, I am pretty sure superpowers are not a symptom of food poisoning. These are the indicators according to the CDC website, and below them are the symptoms my friends have experienced. So, um, so these are the ones that um these are the ones that are just indicators of food poisoning or whatever. Diarrhea, stomach pain or cramps, nausea, vomiting, fever. And now this is what's going on with their friends. Levitating, moving things with your mind, setting things on fire, death and rebirth into something I cannot wrap my head around, all in that order depending on the severity of the side effects. Yes, I am serious. I'm currently writing to you in an odd situation, so typos will exist. I'm not in the current position to edit. I just want to get all of this down before either my phone dies or I mysteriously disappear. I have limited time, so I'm just going to get into it. I'm 23 years old, I'm a student living in the city, and I can't cook. I've never been able to cook, and I really didn't care until my work colleagues pointed it out. I've been happy living on cup ramen and Hot Pockets. Not exactly healthy, but it's quick and easy. Better than takeout, I guess. Anyways, knowing that I'm a shit cook, I figured I should do something about it before 2023. I don't want to start in a new year still being inept at a basic life skill. I watch a lot of YouTubers and podcasts, and all of them at some point have recommended the company HelloFresh. Their commercials looked pretty good. I mean, the food looked easy to make and healthy. They made my mouth water. It was always some kind of chicken dripping in a white sauce, sprinkled with vegetables and and light garnish. Seeing HelloFresh ads made me hate my own crummy diet. According to the website, as well as their influencer spokespeople, it was fresh food made easy, which was perfect for me. I'm not usually one for dinner parties or parties in general, but I guess you could say I wanted guinea pigs to taste my cooking. I know that sounds shady, but it was innocent, I swear. I just wanted people to taste my food and not make a face. I still had slight trauma from when I was 15 and made my parents spaghetti. They didn't even eat it, just sticking their nose up at it. Granted, I don't think I cooked the meatballs through, and the onions weren't supposed to be in chunks. So 9 years later, I was determined to make a good impression on my friends. They were less blunt than my parents. Instead of telling me how it was, my friends would smile politely and tell me at least I was trying, which was good enough for me. Which was good which was good enough for me. I will say I didn't initially want to experiment with them. The whole thing started off as a date. I had been casually talking to a girl I liked for a while, Mina. I met her in class, and friendship turned into something more. It was just flirting, followed by real feelings which started to blossom. I asked her out a few weeks ago on the way to class, and I was so nervous I almost spewed coffee. Mina was that kind of girl, the type which got me nervous. Cute, but kind of pretentious. She gave off that vibe anyway. With her studying Canadian cinema, I guess she was some kind of movie buff, judging from her obsession with quoting like these super old-timey movies and books. Once we started talking, however, I quickly realized she was a total dork. Exactly the same as me, with the same sense of humor. Before the holidays, she asked if I wanted to go out for dinner. Like a fancy restaurant. But I had a better idea. I mean, it seemed good at the time. I didn't have the heart to tell her I was broke after spending way too much on Christmas presents. I knew a Starbucks salary wasn't going to cut it, but my family are the type of people to silently judge if you give them something within a decent price range, $10 to $20. So I had an idea. I would kill two birds with one stone, get to know the girl I liked, and test out my culinary skills with the HelloFresh kit I had ordered. Though once it was delivered, I chickened out. I don't know if it was first date jitters or if I was terrified of giving Mina food poisoning, so I roped some of my colleagues into coming along, and thus it became less of a date and more of an awkward dinner party. It was supposed to be a casual after holidays dinner party, even if we were still stuck in that weird purgatory gap between the 26th of December and New Year's Day, just friends, a potential girlfriend, and drinks. That is what it was supposed to be. Your average Gen Z get together where you talk shit and drink way too much, and then spend hours reminiscing and cringing at your younger years. I had known my colleagues for almost 3 years, and they were maybe my only two friends I fully talked to. Maybe because we shared mutual interests. We watched the same streamers and podcasts, sharing the same stupid humor, just like Mina. Except with Mina, I didn't send her questionable memes at 4 a.m. I had meant to run through the recipe before my guest's arrival, but being the great friends they were, my colleagues decided to head to my place 2 hours earlier. They said it was to help me set up and be so-called moral support, but I was pretty sure they were there to watch the fire, literally and figuratively. I decided to make something easy-ish. I originally just chose chicken on its own with sauce, but was told that was too boring, and apparently Mina would think I was an actual psychopath for serving her that. So after scrolling through the website and overthinking every single recipe I saw, I finally decided on one. Crispy cheddar chicken, bacon mashed potatoes, and asparagus. That sounds delicious. Simple enough, right? I had meticulously read through the instructions. HelloFresh actually sends you all the ingredients already weighted and accumulated, so all you really have to do is put them all together and cook them. Mina had been excitedly texting me all day, which was giving me at least some confidence. I really hoped she would turn up before my unhinged colleagues. No such luck. Fairy Tale of New York was on the radio for the fourth time while I was buzzing around. While I was buzzing around my small apartment kitchen, already sweating through the dress I regretted putting on early. The chicken was already cooking. Um, The asparagus was ready to be thrown in the pan, and I was staring at the little baggie of grated cheese poking from the HelloFresh packet about to fall off the countertop when my broken doorbell rang, which was just enough to hear if I cranked down the radio. Maisie, my 3-year-old tabby, hates noise. She hates humans, tolerates other cats and family members, but strangers were where she fully drew the line. Maisie had met my colleagues twice. Both times she tried to scratch their eyes out when they tried picking her up. I caught the fast-moving blur of her tail swiftly diving upstairs as I power-walked to the door, wiping my clammy hands on the front of my dress. Yanking it open, I came face to face with Gabe, who was casually leaning against my door, the holiday decorations I had strung across my windows illuminating a sardonic smile already quirky on his lips. As usual, the two of them looked like they had just rolled out of bed, which suited them. I don't think they would ever pull off actual fancy outfits. Gabe was front and center while Charlie lurked behind him, his gaze glued to his phone. I noticed Gabe was still wearing his Starbucks apron under his jacket. Gabe and Charlie had been mistaken as twins multiple times. I could see it. They had fairly similar facial structures and dark brown hair, but while Gabe was an extroverted joker with a strong Boston accent, Charlie was a soft-spoken Brit who we had to force into social situations. Peering at me through thick strands of dark hair, Gabe cocked his head. A cigarette was curled between his lips. He took a drag, exhaling smoke in my face. Good evening to the girl who doesn't know how to make basic meals, attempting to have a whole-ass dinner party. I could tell from the slight snorts between the cigarette he'd been waiting to say that line all day. Instead of replying, I nodded to his odd clothing choice. You're still wearing your work uniform? He shrugged, his cheeks going a little pink. I forgot to take it off. Nudging Charlie, the guy took another drag. Someone was rushing the last orders. Charlie shoved him back. Behave, he said, shooting me a smile. Are you excited? Terrified, I admitted. Relax, Gabe handed over bright yellow bag, gripping my shoulders gently. We're here so you don't burn down your house. Ignore him, Charlie rolled his eyes, pocketing his phone. We're here to help. He nodded at me reassuringly. Everything okay so far? My ideal scenario was to have the boys arrive last. Dinner would be ready by then, and they wouldn't have to open their mouths. I could tell Gabe had foreseen this and was determined for the exact opposite to happen. I don't think he was trying to ruin the night, but definitely wanted to make sure things didn't go squeaky clean. I was 100% sure he was ready to tell Mina my most embarrassing stories, and alcohol would induce that. It was too late to send them away. I'd already told Mina they were tagging along, so I was going to grin and bear it. I took the gift with a smile. Convenience store wine? Gabe winked. The very best $5 vino we could find. If we were at work behind the Starbucks counter, I would have hit him by now, but I was trying to stay calm and collected for Mina's arrival. So I took the wine with a gritted smile, knowing damn well I was going to make him pay for it once we started work again in the new year. Thank you, I gestured inside. Come on in. The two of them followed by inside. In true Charlie fashion, he went to hunt down Maisie. He was probably the only human besides me she could maybe tolerate if he didn't overly stroke her. Well, Gabe made himself useful, setting up the table. The two of us vibed to Christmas music. He still wasn't taking off his apron. I was starting to think he liked wearing it. So who is this Mina girl? Gabe set down 4 plates, sidestepping to a pop song. I was leaning against the counter, frowning at the HelloFresh instructions. According to them, everything should have been going okay, though I was worried about the asparagus, and hadn't specified whether I needed to roast or boil them. She's just someone I met in class, I said, peering closer at the instructions. There was a weird side section at the back written in a language I couldn't understand. Probably about whatever was happening with your friends. I shot Gabe a look. And you're not going to embarrass me in front of her, okay? Don't start talking about weird stuff. His lip quirked. Weird stuff? Memes, I said, folding my arms. The pool-filling videos you make me watch. Those slime TikToks you're obsessed with. Gabe scoffed. You watch them too. Yeah, but I don't want Mina to know that. Grabbing a fork, I pointed at him, prongs first. Also, don't smoke in front of her. Gabe pulled a face, leaning across the table. Have you ever considered that maybe Mina likes talking about all that stuff? He straightened up. Be honest, my friend said, his gaze flicking to the food in the oven. Gabe folded his arms. Gabe folded his arms across his apron. Is this going to kill me? I handed him 2 glasses to put down. You wanted to come. The boy sent me a look. You blackmailed me with cash, which you took. Charlie, who was sitting on the stairs playing with a wary Maisie, scoffed. She paid you? I was threatened with my life. Gabe was surprisingly helpful. He filled glasses and kept an eye on the food for me. How old is she again? 25, I muttered, which compared to us is basically a full-grown adult. So, like I said, no jokes or memes or talking about weird shit. I turned back to the HelloFresh instructions. Something about the language at the very back was causing a throbbing pain in my temples. Dumping them back in the box, I turned back to him. He had taken a seat at the table. His eyes were stuck to his phone, a smile curving on his lips. I didn't bother questioning what he was looking at. Charlie joined us a while later and had successfully managed to tame Maisie, who hopped onto his lap when he slumped down next to Gabe. I made a last-minute plea to both of them not to act strange, or say anything weird, or mention any embarrassing stories. When Mina arrived, the food was ready, and we were all in high spirits. I don't know what I expected from Mina. I only knew the version of her in classes, the version whose gaze was glued to her books, only talking to me in whispers. Sociable Mina was a totally different person. She arrived in a casual dress, just a sweater and jeans. The guys didn't even have to say anything fucked up, because the second she walked in, Mina was already showing them her phone and laughing before even greeting them. I was surprised at how easy the 4 of us had come together. After getting to know the guys, she insisted on helping me serve the food, telling us stories about her travels as a kid. With Mina being part Thai, she had a lot to tell us, and she spared no details while we ate. So, Mina, Gabe spoke up, spooning potatoes into his mouth. I could tell by his smile he was about to say weird shit. I kicked him under the table. But he just cleared his throat and swiped his lips with a napkin and asked her generic questions. When Mina pulled out a pack of cigarettes and asked if she could smoke outside, Gabe sent me a knowing smile. He was right, but I was never going to admit that. Besides, I was having a great time. The food was good, really good. It didn't exactly look like the image on the instruction manual, more of a squash version, but the taste was amazing. I didn't realize how hungry I was until I was shoveling bacon mashed potatoes into my mouth like an animal. I served pumpkin pie and whipped cream for dessert. The pie was kind of soggy, but I could mask it with the cream. I didn't plan anything after dessert. I guess I expected them to go home. Mina, however, was already making herself at home. She wandered into my lounge and slumped into my couch, turning on my TV. She wanted to watch a holiday movie, Elf, so we figured why not. It was cozy. Mina was still telling her stories, cuddled up to me, while Gabe and Charlie sat on the rug. They reminded me of little kids, the 2 of them sitting shoulder to shoulder. Charlie had Maisie curled up on his lap, Gabe with his legs drawn to his chest, chin resting on his knees. It struck me that I wouldn't mind living with the 3 of them in the new year. They were quite the catch. It wasn't until halfway through the movie when Mina's stories died out and her attention went to the TV. I didn't think I didn't think anything of it until she sat up a little straighter. I noticed she was hot. Not uncomfortably hot, but I could feel the heat coming off of her. I tried to ignore it, but then she was clearly uncomfortable, wriggling next to me before finally jumping up, fashioning a smile. In the dim glow of the TV screen, her cheeks were significantly paler. Where's your bathroom? She asked hurriedly. I could tell she was eager to get away. Instantly, my mind went to food poisoning. Mina's forehead was glistening with sweat, her breaths coming out short and panicky. Bathroom, she said again when I couldn't find the words. Oh, right, I sat up, my own stomach galloping. Not from poisoning, though. Nerves. It's down the hall, I said. Are you okay? My phone must have attracted the boy's attention. Charlie looked up from his phone, twisting to face us. You okay, Mina? Mina had told me in private that she suffered from anxiety. The more people asked if she was okay, the worse she felt. She nodded, still smiling, making her way over to the door. Yeah, I'm fine. I think I just ate too much. Shh. Gabe's attention was glued to the TV. He had no filter, especially after a glass of wine. It's the best part. I kicked him again. Ow! Gabe didn't turn away from the screen. Mina laughed at him, but I could tell from the crease between her brows, the curl in her lip, that she was in pain. Down the hall on the right, I told her again. I made a move to get up and follow her. Are you sure you're okay? Yup, she swiped at her forehead. I'm okay. I think I just need some air. Before I could question her, Mina was disappearing down the hallway. From the stumbling footsteps, I could tell she was running. Fuck. My mouth went dry. I started to second guess myself. The chicken was cooked, right? I'd checked it multiple times. I turned to my phone, already Googling food poisoning symptoms and counting how long it had been since she ingested the meal. Maybe an hour? But I felt fine. My stomach was trying to projectile into my throat, but I was pretty sure that it was nerves. I didn't want to ask the guys how they were feeling because surely that would cause alarm bells. So, with sticky palms and dread coiling in the root of my gut, I leaned into the warm leather of my couch and counted the minutes until Mina came back. She did eventually. When Mina sat down, she was shaking, her hands trembling in her lap, but still she shot me a grin and insisted she was okay. Mina definitely was not okay. Her cheeks were pallid white, strands of her dark hair sticking to her clammy forehead. The girl was sweating. Bad. When she shifted uncomfortably next to me, I could feel sweat dripping from her shirt. Her head found my shoulder, and it should have been comfortable, flirty, but Mina was clearly sick. I couldn't understand why she was hiding it. The movie credits were rolling when Charlie lifted Maisie off of his lap with a groan. Alright, I'm in need of some more wine. Gently settling my startled looking cat on the carpet, the Brit jumped to his feet, turning to us. Want some? He stumbled, almost topping over. I thought it was the wine, but like Mina, Charlie was visibly shaking. Opening my mouth to answer him, something warm crept back at my throat. Charlie was sweating. Bad. I could see the sheen of sweat shining on his forehead and cheek. Movement must have sobered him up, because suddenly he didn't look well at all. His smile softened a little when he noticed my face. Actually, he laughed lightly, dragging a hand through his hair. I could tell he was trying to downplay it, but it was growing increasingly more obvious that something had gone very wrong with my meal. I'm actually not feeling that great, Luce. I nodded, swallowing hard. Are you okay? He shrugged. Just feeling sick and shaky. Charlie was doing his best not to ask the question, but I knew it was choking his throat. Yeah, I've got some pretty bad stomach cramps. Gabe tipped his head back, his lips splitting into a grin. Are you 100% sure that chicken was cooked? Because if not, we're in for a rocky few days. I had food poisoning as a kid. Not pretty. My mom thought we were dying. My mom thought I was dying. There it was. Gabe was the blunt one, so I was expecting it from him. Don't talk about throwing up. Mina spoke up with a sickly smile. I really don't feel good. I should probably go home. She made a move to get up, but I stopped her. Do you need me to call someone? No, Mina whispered, but I wasn't sure if she could stand without projectiling from both ends. The girl was sitting stiff in a certain position, her head straight. She shook her head. No, I'll be okay, just no sudden movements. She blinked rapidly. I feel kind of dizzy. Dizziness? Was dizziness a symptom of food poisoning? I wasn't sure if it was. Gabe jumped up suddenly, and next to me, Mina's stomach made an odd noise. He didn't speak, just darting out of the room. I could hear the bathroom door slam. Charlie seemed a little less sick. He grabbed Mina a glass of water, and thankfully, she managed to drain the whole glass. I think Charlie was in denial that he too was sick. The boy could barely hold his own glass of water. The two of them engaged in casual conversation while I called an Uber. Gabe had been in the bathroom for a while. I'd found myself standing outside waiting for him, but both times I had asked if he was okay, I just got a strangled response, telling me to leave. Mina was on their third glass of water when I left, hurrying Charlie to see if Gabe was finished. I didn't hear barfing, which was good, right? But when I neared the door, however, I could hear the faucet was on. I already knew what he was doing. Gabe was trying to mask the sound of his violent puking by blasting the faucet. I only had to press my ear against the hardwood of the door to hear retching and groaning, the sounds of him yelling obscenities into the toilet bowl. Gabe? Go away, he yelled. His voice was different. I'd never heard him sound like that. His voice was strained and croaky. He sounded scared. I should have left him alone, I know that. But he could have needed the hospital. Twisting the door handle, I pulled it open and braced myself for what I was about to see. Gabe was kneeling on cold tiles, bent over the toilet bowl. His back was to me, fingers gripping the bowl. The boy was shaking violently with every heave, racking his body. Gasping out, my friend groaned. Didn't I tell you to leave? He snapped. I knew he was about to yell at me before he jolted again, his shoulders relaxing. I figured he was finished before he slowly turned around, wide eyes going to the ceiling. At first I thought he was dizzy, struggling to keep his balance, before he collapsed against the toilet with a choked laugh. Gabe's gaze was skirting the ceiling tiles, and after a moment of trying to ignore it, glittering in his pupils was something which looked almost sentient, alive, wriggling around his iris. I followed his eye. There was something floating above me, right over my head. Initially, I thought it was a Christmas decoration. It was a Christmas decoration. Initially, I thought it was a Christmas decoration which was hanging from the ceiling. That is what logic said anyway, but the closer I looked, I realized I was staring at liquid. Worse still, I could see undigested lumps of chicken. Barf. I was seeing Gabe's barf spiraling above me like a fucking attraction. There were no strings attached, it was just hovering there, like it belonged. I was almost trance-like, staring at this thing in the air, this thing that didn't make sense before my friend turned back to the toilet seat, this time speaking through sharp breaths. I'm okay, he hissed out. Except this time he barfed. Bright red escaped his mouth, dribbling down his chin, and he collapsed over the toilet seat. Okay, Gabe slurred in a laugh which choked into a sob. His body jolted again, and with him so did the room. I wasn't imagining it. The room began to shake and tremble, shampoo bottles raining down from the shelves. I thought it was an earthquake until Gabe hung onto the toilet bowl, squeezing hard. He twisted around to face me with wide eyes. His frenzied gaze found the corner of the bathroom, and bottles of my body wash were exploding, colorful froth spattering the walls. Before it found the shower, then also growing a mind of its own, twisting itself up the wall before dropping back onto the tiles. Gabe turned back to the bowl, hissing out a breath. I don't think I'm okay, Luce. Fuck, I think you need to get someone. As soon as the words had left his mouth, the room stopped shaking. I was quick to soak towels in cold water, ignoring spiraling red spattering the porcelain white of the toilet bowl. I struggled to press them onto his forehead. I'm going to get you help, okay? I managed to get out. Just give me a sec, Gabe slurred. I'm okay. I'm gonna be... He hiccuped, more red hitting white. I'm gonna be okay. I could barely breathe. How are you doing that? I whispered. Gabe's gaze flicked to the state of the bathroom, the tiles still lightly quivering under my feet. I have no idea, but fucking cool, right? He blinked slowly and the faucet exploded. When his eyes rolled back, his body going limp against the toilet seat, I found myself stiff. I couldn't move. I couldn't speak. Gabe wasn't moving. His skin was shining with sweat. He was so pale. So fucking pale. Charlie! I didn't realize I was screaming. I was numb. Charlie, I need help! I wailed. Fuck. Was he dead? Had I killed him? No, I couldn't have killed him. It wasn't me. I cooked the chicken, and even if I didn't, since when was food poisoning? This. Mina! Charlie's panicked voice cut through my thoughts, and I snapped out of it. I waited for several painstaking moments, waiting for Gabe to move, to tell me he was still alive. He did, but not in the way I wanted. Instead, his body writhed, jolting erratically, and with that movement came one final quake under my feet. I couldn't call that a sign that he was still alive, but it was something. Slowly, I made my way over to him. He was still breathing, but his heartbeat was erratic. Putting him in the recovery position, I noticed his skin was ice cold. It's weird, like his body was dead. His face was white, slight bruising under his eyes, but Gabe still had a pulse. He was alive, and yet it made no sense how he was alive. So much blood. It painted him and the toilet bowl. When I left him, his arms were twitching beneath him, fingers curling into a fist. I was diving for my bag and phone to call an ambulance when I noticed something was very wrong. Charlie was on his knees, coughing violently into blood-soaked hands, and Mina lying on her back. Her eyes were flickering, lips opening and closing, a thin line of red seeping down her chin. But looking closer, her body wasn't quite on the floor. No, it was hovering, levitating, several feet from my favorite rug. Mina was unresponsive. When I shook her, tried to pull her back to the ground, her body seemed to shake me off. Charlie, I spoke softly, already dialing 911 with trembling hands. What happened to her? His next cough exploded from him, and the tissue paper he was spluttering into burst into startling orange. Flame. I stared for a moment, unsure if what I was seeing was real. No, it was real. I was seeing ignited smolders of orange tearing through white tissue paper. I found Charlie's unfocused eyes. There was something alive around his iris, something twinning its way around his pupil. I'm okay, he said hurriedly, just feeling dizzy. I almost laughed. 911 was taking a while to connect, and I found myself wondering how. It shouldn't have taken that long. Dizzy? I hissed, gesturing to the flickering flame between his fingers. It took me a second to realize blurry orange was writhing around the tips of his fingers. I don't think he was fully aware of what was happening. You can see it too? His eyes widened and his head cocked, eyes illuminated, orange light flickering across a mesmerizing flame crawling across his flesh. Well, shit. He choked out a laugh, swaying slightly. I thought I was tripping. Another bloody cough spluttered from his lips. Behind me, the holiday decorations I had strung across the wall burst into flames. Everything happened in slow motion, and somehow I was reacting like I knew what was going on. Grabbing a glass of water, I put the mini fire out with my phone pressed to my ears. With the phone pressed to my ear, I didn't see Charlie's knees hit the ground. I didn't see him drop to the ground. Instead, I was pacing the room, desperate to get to the emergency services, even though when there was no way to explain what I had seen. This wasn't food poisoning. It couldn't be. This was way more advanced than a virus. When a woman's friendly voice finally sliced into my ear, a shiver rocketed down my spine. A thud made me jump. Mina had hit the ground, gravity finally yanking her body down. I crawled over to her. She was alive, just freezing cold. Hello, you're speaking to Katie at HelloFresh. Can I have your home address, please? What? Didn't I call 911? I don't have time to question it. I didn't have time to question it. I didn't have time to question it. Before I could choke down the words, I was breaking out into a sob. There's something wrong with my friends, I managed to get out. There's something wrong with my friends. Clutching the phone to my ear, I tried to pry Mina's eye open. Several feet away, Charlie was completely out. I think they're dead, I whispered in a hiss. Did I kill them? It was just a chicken recipe. But I can't understand. My chest felt like it was on fire. They're not experiencing normal symptoms. I couldn't stop myself from crying then. Can you help them? There's something wrong. My friends, the woman hummed. She seemed remarkably calm. No, they're not dead, she said. This is just the ingesting phase. Following that is the blossoming phase. Katie paused and cleared her throat. Which we have appeared to have gone wrong. Please provide your home address. What? I shrieked. Why do you want my address? For pickup and extraction, she said. How old are they? Are these family members or are they around your age? She cut me off. Just the age category is fine. At the corner of my eye, Charlie's body writhed for a few seconds, and next to him, fibers of carpet began to slowly catch alight. I stamped it out. 18 to 25, I told her. What do you mean extraction? What's wrong with them? I swallowed. Are they going to die? Just blossoming, Katie said. I advise you to stay away from them. If you are in the room with them now, I would like you to step out. Do not make any sudden movement. If they are experiencing any physical symptoms, please restrain your friends with rope. Wait, what? Wait, why isn't this happening to the main girl, though? I could feel myself taking slow steps back. What are you talking about? You did this? Yes, the food your friends ingested is the cause of their current symptoms. I'm talking about I'm talking about the blossoming stage. After ingesting, their bodies will go into a sort of hibernation by either going to sleep or simply sitting or standing. They will not be showing any emotion due to second stage taking over their brain. They may utter speech, but it will be slurred or incomprehensible. Laughing has also been reported. What do you mean by that? I mean, Katie paused. Your friends, they won't exactly be themselves when they break from the blossoming stage. They're dead? I said again. Well, yes and no. Not dead in the brain. Another step back. Her words weren't registering. Alright, I just want to take a second to say we're about 6 minutes away from midnight. By my laptop, at least. The time might be slightly different where you live. Oh. I love the No Sleep and Two Sentence Horror Story subreddit, so thanks for reading these. Yeah, I'm gonna be reading more of this stuff in the future. Like, I want to start doing more stuff in the new year, and this is part of it. I'd like to read more No Sleep stories, more Reddit, stuff like that, and horror stories. Like, I'm really into horror stories. In front of me, Mina's head jerked from side to side, her eyes snapping open, lips curling into an animalistic snarl, revealing incisors, which definitely weren't there before. I took a slow breath and took slow steps, backing away towards the door. Why is this happening to them? Well, miss. I cut her off with a frustrated cry. Mina's dead eyes were on the ceiling. No, I mean, why is it happening to them and not me? That's what I was wondering. Well, I can't speak for you. I know we have been testing a placebo in in control group subjects, but I don't think it's been put into our products, she said. As for your friends, there have been reports of a certain mutation in subjects who consume our products. It is known to cause significant changes in brain patterns. Of course, we knew this. The chemical was intentionally put into our food to create a certain reaction which would not be harmful, but help us in the long run. What we hoped for is for customers to become our spokespeople for HelloFresh. God, I could tell she had said that line so many times. However, something has indeed gone wrong. Over the last few weeks, we have received multiple reports of this mutation, which I can assure we can control. Please do not worry, we will extract them ASAP. Oh, and if you check the instructions we sent you with your kit, we very clearly warned customers of this mutation. We cannot offer a refund. For real? Wait, they they deliberately put stuff in their products to make people act like this. But okay, is this why everybody and their uncle is promoting HelloFresh? She was joking around. Surely. Katie left me in silence before hitting me with a bombshell. This mutation is rare, by the way. Most customers, such as social media influencers, have been affected in a positive way. We have spokespeople to carry our name with them and spread our product globally. Okay, so it like forces people to like the food and promote it. I'm pretty sure there are similar creepypastas out there. I just don't remember the titles, and I wish I did because I really love those ones. Spokespeople, I bit out. My friend was floating. The words felt foreign on my tongue. My friend, she was hovering in front of me. Like I said, significant changes in brain patterns include symptoms such as usual flu-like symptoms, like vomiting and a fever, as well as bleeding from the nose and mouth, a sudden inexplicable urge to consume human flesh. Oh my god. Abilities that cannot be explained, and Katie's voice exploded into nothing when something smashed into the back of my hand, sending me spiraling. The smell of fried onions, as well as the sharp, intense pain writing in the palm of my hands, woke me up. Oh boy. I found myself lying on my back on the dining room table. When I tried to move, tried to get up, I couldn't. I twisted my head to seek out where the pain was coming from. The first thing I saw through frayed vision was the wooden edge of the knife trembling midair. Blinking rapidly, I thought I was hallucinating. Nope. Alright, we're only 2 minutes away from New Year's. The knife was definitely real and definitely suspended in midair. Panic started to ignite inside of me, and before I could speak, the air was moving in front of me. Suddenly, the knife wasn't as clumsy as I thought it was. It didn't tremble and shake. It cocked to the left and then the right, like it could sense my fear. There was a figure blooming behind the knife. Gabe. Alright, I'm gonna finish this story in a minute, but it's only 1 minute till New Year's, and I want to make sure I say New Year's right at midnight. So, well, I just want to say this year has been interesting, but I did a lot for my YouTube channel. I mean, through the first half of the year, I was mostly settling into my new place and dealing with all that, so it was just a lot. But once I was moved in and like settled and stuff, I was able to do a lot of really awesome YouTube videos and have a lot of fun. And hopefully, in the new year, I'll be getting back to A Guardian Angel because I really love that book and I want to find out what happens next. And I'm also later going to be doing a second read through of that book. Like after I'm done the first time round, I'm going to go for a second round. Happy New Year! It's midnight! Happy New Year, everybody! I don't even know. Kelly, you still here? Alright. Well, it's the new year. Weird. Huh. Hey, the last time I saw you guys. Wow, it's been a year since I saw you guys. That's crazy. Happy New Year! Okay, she is here. Yay! Alright, I'm gonna finish the story, and then that's gonna be it. Gabe. He looked better, I guess. There was something fucked with his eyes, but he didn't look dead anymore. At least, that was my logical brain talking. It wasn't fully registering dead and empty eyes and a grinning mouthful of teeth ready to rip me apart. I finally found my voice when Mina loomed over me with wide, unseeing eyes. You okay? I rasped when Mina's tongue flicked out, grazing her lips. She was stiff. When I tried to move, her claw-like fingernails grasped hold of me like I was territory. The girl didn't speak. She just shook her head. Gabe didn't look at me. His gaze was on my legs and arms. I glimpsed a thin slither of drool pooling from his lip. Hungry, he mumbled. So hungry. There's something wrong with you, I said. I'm getting help. Listen to me, okay? I'm going to get you help. His eyes seemed to flicker to life. Oh no, I'm perfectly fine. Gabe shrugged with a smile. I'm just really fucking hungry, Luce. We're all hungry. Charlie mumbled, echoing his words. Hungry. Let me go. I wrenched against the pain holding me. Let me go. Shh. Gabe only had to blink before a carving knife was hovering inches from my face. You need to eat, Luce. His lips broke out into a grin. And then we're eating you. Behind him, Mina was standing at the stove. She was cooking onions, humming to herself. The smell was twisting my gut. I screamed, a deep and guttural screech, sending my thoughts into a tailspin. At the same time, though, the knife dropped, but not like it was supposed to. It dropped with purpose. Blade first. Piercing my hand at the table, it didn't stop, the sentient blade digging deeper and deeper through flesh and bone until it was perforating me, pinning me to the table. I screamed again, my cry choking between my clenched teeth. This time I barely made a noise, just a breath. Another knife was hanging almost comically, before it followed suit, successfully immobilizing my body. I was aware of red spurting, pooling across the surface. But he wasn't finished. A third knife hung above me and made a sweeping motion. I watched it come close to my leg, the blade nipping my skin. He was playing with me. I was aware of Charlie hovering by. I could sense the heat of the flame on his fingers, a fire he was playing with. Gabe disappeared for a moment. um, Sorry. Uh, Gabe disappeared for a moment before bending over me. Something was clenched between his teeth. A marker pen. He plucked the lid off and used the marker, marking my stomach, then my legs and arms. I'm pretty sure I hear fireworks. The knife seemed to follow him, eager, like they were ready to get to work. Thankfully, they didn't. The three were going to skin me, eat me. Their eyes held no life except unbridled greed, a craving I couldn't understand. Charlie held a plate, and Gabe ran his fingers up and down my legs, squeezing excess skin through his fist. Before they could, however, my door was flying open, a swarm of men and women in black filling the room. I was helped off the table quickly, the knives being pulled from my hands. I barely felt the pain. Instead, I was watching my friends automatically going for the kill. They acted like animals. Whatever these people have turned them into, they're like monsters. Charlie grabbed a masked man and snapped his neck before he was shot down. Mina was slower. She held up her hands in mock surrender. Her gaze scanned the crowd for a victim, but before she could lunge, she too was taken down. This time from the back. A man had stabbed her in the back of the neck with a shot. Gabe stumbled back, outnumbered. He looked like he was going to attack before the man pulled out a device. To me, it was barely a scratch to my ear, but to Gabe, it was torture. His trembling hands went to bloody ears, mouth opening, but no sound coming out. When Gabe dropped to his knees with a snarl, a choked whipping from his lips, I started towards him. I wanted to help him. I mean, despite what they had done to me, I wanted to help him. But rough arms were dragging me violently back. The device, whatever it was, must have been cranked to its highest setting, turning Gabe into a quivering mess, burying his head in his knees. Calm down, the man said through the mask. Gabe actually looked human again for a moment, squeezing his eyes shut. If I ignored his eyes and glistening incisors. I'm calm, he cried through his teeth. Turn that off. His expression crumpled. Please, I'm begging you. Just please turn that thing off. It hurts. They did, eventually, and just like that, Gabe too was tranquilized like an animal. I watched my friends get dragged out of my house like wild animals and thrown into a white van. Are you alright, miss? A woman had bandaged my hand. She smiled reassuringly. Your friends have some minor food poisoning. We're just taking them to check them over, alright? There's nothing to worry about. Her tone was almost hypnotizing, turning my thoughts foggy. I nodded dizzily. Are you sure you're okay? I was pretty sure I wasn't. The woman left me with a promise to contact me when my friends were better, but I wasn't thinking about her words. I couldn't get the image out of my head. The look of mania, of unbridled madness in Mina's eyes as she prepared me to be skinned. There were two men standing outside the van, watching guards throw Mina, Gabe, and Charlie into the back. One of them was smoking. Through a drag, he slapped the doors. What have we got here? Potentials, the other man said. Take 'em back to HQ. We've got potentials. Why the long face, huh? This is what we wanted. The smoker chuckled before stamping out his cigarette. All right, come on, let's load 'em up. I did possibly the stupidest thing I've ever done in my life after that. I jumped in the back with them. I expected just my friends, but there were more people, all of them knocked out. It's been several hours since the van arrived at its destination. I've managed to hide behind a pile of body bags. They took my friends hours ago, and I'm too scared to see where I am. I've checked several times through the gap in the door. I'm in a large parking lot. This place reminds me of the dentist. It's got that smell, you know? Like, clinical. If this phone stays alive, I'll try and update you. Something tells me HelloFresh's mutation wasn't an accident. Aw, thanks for spending New Year's with me. Sure, thanks for spending New Year's with me. I'm really happy for my mom that my mom's not here for New Year's. Strange as it sounds, but I'm really happy that my mom's not here for New Year's because she's with her boyfriend, which I think is really adorable. Like she started talking to me a couple weeks ago about how she was actually dating this guy. So I think that's really cool. I think it was on like the 24th that we talked about it, but she was like seeing that guy, but she's been seeing that guy for a couple of months now. So she's actually spending the New Year's with her boyfriend, which I think is really awesome. So I think I'm gonna try and I'm taking tomorrow off, but I'm probably gonna try and do another stream on Monday, and I have no idea what it's gonna be, but hopefully, I don't know. Aw, yeah, yeah, it is. It's really sweet. Like, she asked how I feel about her dating, and obviously not that it makes a difference. I mean, I have no right to tell her not to date. Plus, she doesn't have to do anything I say anyway. But whatever. But I actually think it's really sweet, and she's made it clear that she really wants a partner, and as long as she finds someone who's good for her and nice to her, I don't see the problem. I actually think it's awesome. Okay, I'm really tired because it's past midnight and I need some sleep. So, I'm gonna go and take care of some stuff before bed. Um, so I love each and every one of you guys. Please don't forget to always be yourself. Um, and I'll see you guys. Please don't forget to always be yourself. Be good to yourself and others. And I'll see all you guys in the next video. Bye.